The year is 1187. The world stands on the brink of a turning point, as the fate of kingdoms and faiths hangs in the balance. On the sun-scorched hills of Galilee, the air shimmers with heat and tension. The Crusader army, exhausted and outnumbered, is surrounded and desperate, their hopes fading with every passing hour. Saladin, the formidable Sultan of Egypt and Syria, has masterfully trapped them at Hattin, his strategy flawless and his resolve unbreakable. His disciplined forces control the precious water sources. The Crusaders, parched and weakened, are left to suffer under the relentless sun. The result is total disaster. The Crusader army is shattered, their banners trampled, and their leaders captured or slain. The Christian army is destroyed, the sacred true cross lost to the enemy, and Jerusalem left defenseless, its people gripped by fear and uncertainty. With victory at Hattin, Saladin marches on the holy city, determined to reclaim it for Islam. Unlike the first Crusaders, he shows mercy. There is no massacre. Citizens are ransomed, families spared, and the call to prayer returns to Al-Aqsa Mosque. News of Jerusalem's fall travels swiftly, sending shockwaves through Europe. The unimaginable has happened. Pope Urban III reportedly dies of grief upon hearing the news. Outrage and sorrow sweep across Christendom, uniting kings and commoners alike. The Third Crusade is called, and this time Europe's greatest monarchs, Richard the Lionheart, Philip Augustus and Frederick Barbarossa, prepare to reclaim the Holy Land. Saladin, the unifier of the Muslim world, now faces the combined might of the West, as two civilizations prepare for a monumental clash. Among the Crusaders is Richard the Lionheart, a warrior whose courage and legend will echo through the ages. The world braces for a clash between two titans, each determined to shape the destiny of Jerusalem. The fate of Jerusalem and the entire region hangs in the balance as hope and fear mingle in the hearts of all. The stage is set for a conflict that will echo through history, shaping the world for centuries to come. The Crusader states will never fully recover from Hattin. Their power is broken, their dreams of dominion shattered. The struggle for the Holy Land enters a new, dramatic phase, one that will test the resolve of empires and the faith of millions. Europe responds with overwhelming force, determined to reclaim the Holy Land after the shocking loss of Jerusalem. The call to arms echoes across kingdoms, uniting rival monarchs under a single cause. Three powerful kings answer the call: Frederick Barbarossa of the Holy Roman Empire, Philip II of France, and Richard the Lionheart of England. Their combined armies form the largest Crusader force yet assembled. Tragedy strikes early. Barbarossa, the legendary emperor, drowns while crossing a river in Anatolia. His sudden death shatters morale, and most of his army disperses, never reaching the Holy Land. Undeterred, Richard and Philip continue their journey by sea, braving storms and hardship, finally landing at the besieged city of Acre. Acre has endured a relentless siege for 2 years. Disease, starvation, and constant attacks have devastated both defenders and besiegers, turning the camp into a place of suffering and despair. The arrival of fresh Crusader troops and powerful siege engines finally shifts the balance. The defenders, exhausted and outnumbered, struggle to hold out. Despite suffering from illness, Richard the Lionheart inspires his men, leading from the front lines and refusing to yield, his courage becoming legendary. Saladin's attempts to break the siege fail. In July 1191, after months of brutal fighting, Acre finally surrenders to the Crusaders. But the victory is marred by cruelty. Frustrated by failed negotiations and fearing renewed resistance, Richard orders the execution of nearly 3,000 Muslim prisoners outside the city walls. This brutal act stains Richard's reputation across Europe and the Muslim world, deepening the bitterness and hatred on both sides of the conflict. The war for the Holy Land grows even more savage, setting the stage for further bloodshed and vengeance in the years to come. With Acre secured, Richard marches south toward Jaffa, shadowed by Saladin's cavalry. The Crusaders endure relentless attacks, but Richard's discipline holds them together. At Arsuf, Saladin launches a full assault. Richard waits, then unleashes a devastating countercharge. The Muslim lines break. It's a major Crusader victory. Saladin's aura of invincibility is shattered. Morale soars. Jaffa falls without a fight. Richard stands at the height of his power. The road to Jerusalem is open. The dream of reclaiming the holy city seems within reach. The Crusaders push inland toward Jerusalem, but winter rains and stretched supply lines sap their strength. The roads become rivers of mud, and every step forward is a battle against exhaustion and hunger. Morale begins to falter as the men trudge on, their armor caked with grime, their spirits weighed down by the endless gray skies. Saladin's forces poison wells and strip the land, making progress miserable. The Crusaders find only ruined villages and barren fields, their hopes for resupply dashed at every turn. The enemy's scorched earth tactics leave them parched and desperate, forced to ration every drop of water. By Christmas 1191, the Crusaders are just 12 miles from Jerusalem. They can see its towers. The holy city glimmers on the horizon, so close they can almost touch it. For many, it's the moment they've dreamed of for years, but reality sets in. Even if they take the city, they can't hold it. The commanders gather in tense councils, weighing the risks. The prospect of being surrounded and cut off is all too real. Their army is shrinking, supplies are low, and Saladin's main force is near. Hunger gnaws at the men, and every day brings new desertions. The threat of a counterattack looms ever larger. After agonizing debate, Richard decides to withdraw. The decision is painful, but he knows a doomed assault would mean disaster for all. The soldiers are devastated, many weeping as they turn away from their goal. Years of hardship and sacrifice seem wasted in a single moment of retreat. A second advance months later ends the same way. Hopes are raised, only to be dashed again by the same harsh realities. Richard, in anguish, refuses to look at Jerusalem, feeling unworthy. The weight of failure is almost too much to bear. The chance to retake the city is lost, not by defeat, but by harsh military logic. The dream slips away, not with a final battle, but with a slow, painful retreat. The Crusade's emotional heart is broken. The men march away, haunted by what might have been, their journey marked by sorrow and regret. As Richard prepares to leave, Saladin retakes Jaffa. The garrison is trapped. Richard responds with legendary speed, leading a tiny force ashore and driving Saladin's troops from the city. Saladin counterattacks, but Richard's defense holds. Both leaders are exhausted. A truce is signed. The Crusaders keep a coastal strip. Christian pilgrims may visit Jerusalem, but the city remains under Saladin's control. The Third Crusade ends in compromise, triumphs and disappointments. Richard saves the Crusader states but fails to reclaim Jerusalem. Saladin defends his prize and becomes a legend. Their rivalry leaves a legacy of respect, conflict, and a question: can a failed war still be a success?